Now, on the National Guard shooting that left 3 people hurt yesterday in Millington, there will be no bond for the man accused in that crime. I'm Alex Coleman in for Richard.
I'm Claudia Barr. Investigators say around 1 yesterday, shots rang out at the National Guard Recruiting Center near the Navy base. 2 guardsmen were hit, including this man, Ricky McKenzie. A 3rd guardsman was grazed. All are expected to be okay. Today, the accused shooter, Amos Patton, went in front of the judge in federal court. WREG's Candace McCowan begins our Team 3 coverage on what went down in court. Candace.
Yeah, Alex, Claudia, Amos Patton didn't say much in court today. He only spoke with his attorney and didn't show much emotion either. He nodded when the judge spoke with him. Now, many people we talked to said before yesterday they thought that Patton was a nice guy, but some tell us that Patton had another side that many didn't know about. Amos Patton's neighbors thought they had a good sense of the man next door.
He was very nice, very well-mannered, polite as can be. Told my husband and I if we ever need any help or anything, just come next door.
Yeah, he actually seemed like a pretty nice guy.
But a source in the National Guard says it was Amos Patton's bad behavior that led up to yesterday's shooting. The source says the married Patton was having an affair with another National Guard employee. The woman wanted to end the relationship, and because of Patton's reaction, she reported him for misconduct. Before the shooting yesterday, Patton was called in and relieved of duty.
I cannot answer that. As the investigation is ongoing, I can only tell you that it confirmed that it was personnel matters that he was being called in for on yesterday.
The complaint against Patton says he went to his government car to get his government equipment. He came back with a fanny pack when someone spotted the gun and attempted to tackle Patton. Patton got away, firing at least 3 shots before he ran outside and was subdued again.
It could have been far worse than it was, but we had some very attentive National Guard personnel that were able to take control of this situation and prevent a huge tragedy.
A source told WREG Patton was a well-liked guy and a good recruiter, but also told us this wasn't his first time being accused of misconduct. Yeah, and Patton faces 2 charges, one for assault and one for carrying and use of a firearm during a crime of violence. Now, we were told that the investigation continues, and there is a possibility that more charges could be added. Reporting live outside the federal courthouse this evening, Candace McCowan, WREG News Channel 3.
Candace, thanks so much. And tonight, a Mid-South psychologist is weighing into the shooting. Now, News Channel 3 sought him out because he works with companies to diffuse tense situations with employees. WREG's Wayne Carter tells us what he says any employer needs to know before disciplining a worker.
It was tense at the Army National Guard Recruiting Center. Gunfire, people hit, and uncertainty as to why. Now we learned recruiter Amos Patton had been relieved of duty, fired, and come back with a gun. We hear it all the time, but how do we prevent it?
I start trying to talk to them about the next steps, about, how are you going to tell your wife? What are you going to tell your kids?
Companies hire Collierville psychologist Dr. Jeff Hamsley to be a part of terminations, negotiations, and disciplinary issues.
I'm there as a support.
Anyone can get upset when being criticized or fired. He says way too often employers use the wrong words and criticize an employee's attitude or behavior. That makes it personal and difficult for the employee to accept.
Make everything fact-based. In other words, the reason we're letting you go is you were late 5 times.
He says it's important to make sure employees leave knowing it's something they can measure, not someone else's opinions. Opinions make the person fired feel bad, and that could make them snap. Wayne Carter, WREG, News Channel 3.
And by the way, Patton was reportedly disciplined for some type of misconduct. Claudia.
Stay with News Channel 3 for continuing coverage on the National Guard shooting. Coming up at 6, hear from the captain who worked with the shooting victims in Jackson, Tennessee. We'll also bring you the latest updates on the investigation on air and on WREG.com.